So you're in high school and you just got a gym membership. Now you started going to the gym but you don't know how to build lean muscle. In this video we're going to discuss just that. First of all, my name is Himanshu. I help people transform their lives through fitness. You're clearly interested in that, so scroll down below, hit the subscribe and the post notification bell and you'll never miss any of my uploads again. It wasn't that long ago when I was in high school and I got a gym membership as well. This is a video I wish I had when I first joined the gym. Since I first got my gym membership, I have been training consistently for about 5 years, so you guys know that I can give you guys the correct information. The first thing that you guys need to know is that there's always two sides to fitness, the nutrition side and the training side. Before people start their fitness journey, they always think that the harder part is the training side of things, but they quickly realize that the harder part is actually the nutrition side of things. So let's first start with nutrition. So what do you actually have to know about nutrition? Well, first of all, you need to eat at a caloric surplus. No matter how many exercises you do and what intensity you do them at, if you're not eating at a caloric surplus, you will not gain muscle. A caloric surplus literally means the extra calories that you add on top of your maintenance calories. Now, it's possible to gain muscle at a caloric deficit as well, but this is only applicable if you're overweight and you haven't lifted a single weight in your life. Your maintenance calories are the amount of calories that you burn in a single day, going about your day-to-day activities. You find this out by going on any TDE calculator online and entering your details as accurately as possible. Now see how there's an energy imbalance. This is what we want. We want to be eating more calories than we burn. This is how we gain weight and specifically muscle. I will go into the specifics of what you should actually eat to optimally gain muscle and keep the fat gain to a minimum. If you guys literally eat right and train right, you guys will see massive gains in the gym. This is because of what we call noob gains in the fitness industry. Noob gains is the period of time, usually around 1 to 1.5 years of your lifting journey, where you gain muscle at an exponential rate if you eat right and train right. So it's important that you guys utilize this time period as effectively as possible, because once it's gone forever. You guys will see a lot more gains in your noob gains phase compared to say like a 40-year-old man, because your testosterone levels would keep go higher and higher compared to like a 40-year-old man where his testosterone would keep declining every year. In order to gain muscle as effectively as possible, you guys need to have a good macronutrient split in place. The standard macronutrient split for gaining muscle would be 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat, which is what I recommend you guys stick to as well. It's essential that out of these three macronutrients that you hit your protein goal every day. This will be the deciding factor on whether you gain muscle or not, but you should ideally aim to hit all three of these macronutrients every day. So this is how you basically do it, guys. You find out your maintenance calories through any TDE calculator online, and then you add on top of that 300 to 500 calories for your surplus calories. If you're very lean, I recommend adding 500 calories on top of your maintenance calories, but if you're a skinny fat kid like I was, you can add 300 calories on top of your maintenance calories. If you're overweight, I recommend actually eating at a caloric deficit. This is the exact opposite of a caloric surplus. This way you can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. This is what we call a body recomposition in the fitness industry. Again, if you're very overweight, I recommend decreasing the calories to around 500 calories. But if you're moderately overweight, you can decrease the calories to around 300 calories and then adjust accordingly. Now that you guys have your calorie goal, you guys have to split it into the macronutrient split that I told you guys before. The easiest way to do this is by downloading an app called MyFitnessPal. You can adjust your calorie goals on it, so you can adjust your macronutrient split on it as well. Now you can use the same app to track all your calories throughout the days and months. Now just because you're at a caloric surplus doesn't mean that you don't need to track your calories. Remember that our goal here is to gain as much muscle as possible while limiting the amount of fat we gain as well. If you don't track your calories, you will end up overeating or undereating. This will mean that you would not hit your caloric goals for the day, and you will not get to your end destination at the end of the day as well. Now let's move on to the training side of things. In terms of training, you need to progress on your lifts every 2 weeks at least. When I first started training, I only did compound movements, for example, squats, bench, and deadlifts. These exercises activate multiple muscle groups at a time, so these are the best exercises to get started on to build your foundation and your stability. What I did and what I recommend you guys do is to start off with compound lifts and then slowly, gradually move on to a combination of compound and isolated movements as well. I'd say you can move on to a combination after around 6 months of properly training with compound movements. With each exercise, you'd want to implement what we call progressive overload in the fitness industry. It basically means improving in your lifts by increasing any variable. You can increase the time and attention that you keep yourself when you do an exercise, increase the weight that you lift, increase the amount of sets that you do, and increase the amount of reps that you do as well. So say for example you did side lateral raises with 4 kg dumbbells. After 2 weeks you can increase the amount of weight that you lift to 6 kg, or you can either increase the amount of reps or sets that you do as well. Usually it's easier to progressively overload on compound movements than it is to progressively overload on isolated movements. This is because compound movements incorporate multiple muscle groups, therefore it's easier to progressively overload on them. Another key thing when it comes to training is that you have to develop good form. Good form will help you grow more muscle, and it will keep you safe from short-term and long-term injuries as well. If you start off with bad form, you might not change it for years down the line because you're used to doing it the same way over and over again. This is where long-term injuries come in. Good form will also make sure that you don't ego lift and find weights that's suitable for you. If you know anything about ego lifting, it's a quick fire way to get long-term injuries or even short-term injuries. In terms of rep ranges when you're training, I recommend you guys keep it in the hypertrophy rep range from around 6 to 12 reps. If it's a super isolated exercise and you're targeting a small muscle group, it's okay to go beyond 12 reps. One thing I can tell you guys for sure is that smaller muscle groups react well to low weight and high volume, whereas bigger muscle groups react well to low volume and heavier weight. This is because the best stimulus for a small muscle to grow is by doing more reps and sets, because going up higher in weight is impossible for a small muscle group and you can only get so far, whereas for a bigger muscle group like the back, you can increase the weight easily and you can keep the rep and set ranges to a minimum. In terms of training splits, I recommend you guys choose one body part per day, which is also known as the bro split. This is because since you're still new to the gym, you'll be putting your body through a lot of mechanical damage by breaking down your muscle fibers when you exercise. When you do one body part per day, you allow yourself to go all in on that one body part per day, and then you allow it to rest and recover for the rest of the week. Then you can go all in on that one body part again and train it intensely as you want, and the cycle continues. If you do the opposite and you pick a training split like push-pull legs, which is pretty popular in the fitness industry right now, you would actually be doing yourself more harm than good. This is because you're not training yourself as intensely as you can. This is because you only do 2 exercises maximum per body part, which is not enough intensity at all. You also wouldn't be able to let the muscle rest and recover for the rest of the week because you'll be hitting it the same week again for the second time. Trust me guys, don't listen to these big YouTubers promoting the shit out of push-pull legs. You literally won't grow if you follow something similar to it or push-pull legs. In terms of cardio, I recommend you guys don't do any cardio at all unless you're in a caloric deficit, like I mentioned before in the video. If you're overweight and you have to do cardio to maintain that caloric deficit, I recommend you guys do an incline walk at 10 incline and 3.5 speed. Trust me, you burn a ton of calories by doing this just for 20 minutes. An alternative would be a steady state stationary bike. I actually prefer a stationary bike over an incline walk any day of the week, but it's your choice at the end of the day, guys. Make sure you guys track your calories and match it up with the amount of cardio that you do as well. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to drop me a like down below if you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.